set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's when the season start. Bucs come in 40 hard. Win after win, ripping the division apart. Panthers, they pussycats. Falcons got bird flu. Take the Ravens and Dolphins and open up a zoo. Cause one thing's for sure, better than the Bucs, they show lane. And every day in Tampa Bay, we say fuck the Saints. We in Tampa Bay, baby. 813 going crazy. Tampa, boy. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. And we in Tampa Bay, baby. Tell them where you from. 813 going crazy. Yeah. This Bucs podcast be the greatest. Loose cannons blasting on them haters. Now when I say the loose cannons, what? Do you know what I mean? I'm talking Bobby Latte.
What is up, Bucs Nation? It is Monday, August 11, 2025, and you are watching the Loose Cannons podcast. I am your boy, the Sammer Ali, hanging out with my pale, Kyle Trask-loving brother from another mother, Stank fucking bastard. And before we begin tonight's show, I will remind you to make sure you hit that like button and leave us a comment on the way out. And if you're new and you've somehow stumbled into this very weird part of town, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out because you're never going to want to miss another episode again. And if you have missed episodes or you're not watching this one live, remember you can always check us out on loosecannonslive.com where you can watch or listen or do both at the exact same time in two separate tabs every single episode we have ever dropped in the history of the Loose Cannons podcast. And of course, there's also a link to join our free Bucs Discord, where it's a ridiculously weird community of Bucs fans like us. And of course, our Cannon Cartel, which is the membership side of things on that same Discord, where you get some behind the scenes action, some perks, a free Cannon Cartel t-shirt, and of course, first access to our fantasy football leagues, which will be beginning very, very soon. And yes, if you're a YouTube member already, you're already grandfathered into the Cannon Cartel membership. So welcome aboard, boys and girls, and whatever, gender you want to identify with. Stanker. Football is back, baby. It is officially back. We watched a Buccaneers team play football on a field with lights, with rain, with grass, with dirt, with a smaller logo and less shine to the helmet, which I did not like. We'll talk about that later. But other than that, what a fucking return to Buccaneers football, Stank.
Yeah. You know that feeling after you do the deed, it's been a while. It's been like months and months and months and months, right? You just have no life in you. Your limbs are just all flailing. You want to take a nap? That's kind of how I feel. That's how I feel today. I couldn't contain my excitement. Football's back. And we blew a big load on the field this over the weekend. And man, are we all satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, we got a massive win. Okay. I don't want to say massive as in it matters, but massive as in it was great to fucking see the boys back on the field doing what they do, right? But Stank, we dominated while leaning on depth, which is a big part of why I'm excited to talk about this game, because in years past, the depth has looked like dog shit. Preseason games have been pretty sloppy, which is kind of, what you expect to an extent. But the depth that we've added got to shine in this game against the Titans. The young guys came out there and showed what they could do. We've seen, running backs we didn't even know about got to do what they could do. And it was a good night overall to see guys that we don't know make some early names for themselves here in some battle, some camp battles, some competitions going on with different backup positions. And, even seeing guys like Servassier Dennis, who's a starter, playing a good chunk of time too.
Yeah, guys like that need it, right? We need to see Braswell out there. He clearly needs all the reps he can get. Guys like that who are starters or are going to play big roles on this team still need to get out there and go against live competition and start to sharpen their skills a little bit. So I'm not mad. I mean, everybody's expecting Braswell to look like, fucking JPP out there. It's going to take this kid some time to really get where, to hopefully ascend so that he can be a quality piece in this rotation. And we still don't know what he is yet. So, I mean, after one preseason game, I'm not willing to hit the panic button yet.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to see a guy like Servassier Dennis go out there and play. First of all, he's got to shake off a lot of cobwebs. And he hasn't really played that much since we drafted him. So you kind of do need him to go out there and see some live bullets. Not kind of the same thing as what you want from a Jacob Parrish and some of the rookies, but you do want to see Dennis go out there and, get his feet wet, get back in action, because that game speed versus, camp speed is much different. And then, of course, the offensive line. We don't know what's going to happen at left tackle in terms of the first couple of weeks of the season, maybe first 4 weeks. We don't know yet. So we needed to see Heck out there. We needed to see Klein going in at center. Apparently, he can play every position on the line, or he's cross-training in every position. To see him at center with a possibility of moving Graham Barton to left tackle, as a plan B if things just don't work out with what Heck does in the preseason, all these things matter. So week one, although it's preseason, it's a big deal to some of that stuff, and that stuff they need to get on tape. They need to see guys like this on tape. They need to see Shiloh Sanders on tape, see what he can actually do, see if he can make a tackle, see if he can get out there and contribute to special teams. And of course, the wide receivers who all look like they're 7 feet tall for some fucking reason, coming out there, making plays, having a chance to make a team in some way or another. I know one guy's from West Virginia, so Zach is fucking losing his shit once that kid gets out there. But how about J-Mac and Ibuka coming out there with Kyle Trask at the helm and just shining, Stank? I mean, having an opportunity to make 2 big plays from those guys, contested catches, big catches down the field, a little bit different than what we've seen, over the last year in terms of how dominant the offense was. We didn't really have that down the field, impact aside from Mike Evans every now and then.
Yeah, perspective here. The Titans were the worst team in football last year. They had the number 1 pick for a reason. They don't have depth. And it was nice to see our depth pieces really take advantage of this opportunity and go out there and shine. Ibuka's not a depth piece. Jalen's not a depth piece. These guys are going to be asked to contribute early and often. And they should go out there and look like they did. And it was nice to see. Although, Ibuka let me down, should have caught that touchdown pass. Chris would have caught it easily. But, you can't know it all right out the bag. All right. You got to have some room for growth. And, it was nice to see.
I mean, we got to see Noddy Miller out there. He looks like he's one of those preseason studs year in, year out, right? He gets taken off the field, evaluated for a concussion. Chris Myers and fucking Rondé are talking about how he's probably not going to be. All of a sudden, they look down, he's out there catching passes. And they're like, wait, how's he back on the field? And I guess they couldn't even keep him off the field. That's the competitive nature of this Noddy Miller character, Stank, who I believe could be, preseason, got preseason MVP written all over him, in my opinion.
He's got reps in this offense.
Real reps.
He played meaningful minutes for this team.
Actual football in October.
Actual football. Clearly, all the quarterbacks on this roster trust the kid. First one in, first one out, hard worker, knows the playbook. Just that kind of guy. A blue collar, a wide receiver, white. Okay, is what I was trying to say. He just fits the prototypical position where there's a guy like that. It seems to be on every team, and I don't know. He might be undeniable, Sammer, because this is a numbers game at the end of the day. You got 2 Johnsons that won on this team. One of them's going to make the team. Nobody's given Noddy Miller any chance. Tough. He got concussed.
You got Knott, you got 2 Johnsons. Yeah. You got a whole bunch, right?
Right. Nobody's talking about anybody but Noddy Miller right now. And he's going to make this team most likely because the quarterbacks trust him.
Yeah, it looked like your boy Kyle Trask really trusts him, right? He's just kind of, anytime he needed to make that play, would go to him. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Ibuka. He got that 1 catch, and they're probably like, oh, cool. Go ahead, sit down. Thank you so much. Great to see you out there. But man, Stang, he looked so fluid in that 1 play. I was watching that replay over and over and over. I was like, God, this guy looks fucking smooth. Just everything about it is just so smooth. And then, of course, you saw J-Mac make that play. But man, I just, it was nice to see the offensive line not fall apart, being that it wasn't any of the starting guys out there. And I don't think Heck played badly. They had some moments every now and then, a couple of those dudes. Klein had that terrible snap. But as a unit, they didn't really take a step back. And I think it speaks a lot to the offensive line coach that we have, who I think is going to have one of these guys ready to be a left tackle in case Tristan's not ready for week 1, which we don't know yet. So I think that was the biggest takeaway from the depth pieces in terms of stuff that's maybe not as sexy because everyone's talking about running backs and wide receivers. But see the offensive line go out there and block well and give Kyle, and I don't even know who the fucking backup quarterback was after him, to give everybody who was throwing the ball time back there was pretty cool to see. And hey, man, again, Tennessee's not a great team, but everyone out there in preseason, Stank, is fighting for their lives because that's really it. Like, that's their dream, to get there, and they got one chance to make it most of the time. And so they're giving out much more effort than you're going to get from a 3-10 team in the middle of the season.
Yeah. Kevin Carberry. Is it a coincidence that ever since that guy's gotten here, we've been able to like drastically improve our running ability? Didn't matter which back is in there.
Did you hear anything I said, or were you Googling that guy's name?
No, I wasn't Googling anything. I heard everything you said, and you gave credit to the offensive line coach, and I'm doing the same. What I was going to do is shit on Liam Cohen, because I feel like Kevin's the one who deserved all the credit.
You're right.
And Liam in that just absolutely horrific looking face ended up getting the promotion. I think he probably wanted to steal Kevin. We didn't allow it. So
do you see what he did? It looks like he's been on the Ozempic, because he went from ugly to like uglier. There's something wrong with him, and now his ears are even like, they're bigger. He's got the weird spray tan thing. He's really shiny and just like it really looks like he's greased it up a little bit more than we saw him. Right? It just didn't look. His hat looked like he was a child who's wearing his dad's cap. At the baseball game, it looked awful, man. And I think he was on with what's her name, that Saints fan who has that show on FanDuel TV.
Okay.
Yeah, she was she had him on there, and it's just he looked unhealthy. Something's wrong with Liam. So, thoughts and prayers to whatever Liam's going through.
Yeah, congrats on the long kick though.
Yeah, dude.
Hope that does well for you and your football team.
I mean, what does that say though about your team, that you're out there practicing 70-yard kicks? In terms of like, what, we're going to have to lean on this guy being able to make a kick before we can even cross, half 50-yard line. So saying something. I don't think it's a good thing. I know that.
No,
much.
I think it sends a bad signal. That's the best player on your football team right there.
Yeah. The guy making a 7-yard kick. All right. We talked about depth, Stank. Let's talk about those running backs, man. Unfortunate that Rachaad White tweaks a groin. I wasn't a big fan of him even playing in that game. I really didn't see the point in having him out there because he's kind of a starter, kind of not, but still, you really don't need him out there. What do you need to see from him that he can't do in practice at this point? But ends up tweaking a groin, and we saw Tucker, who's been a stud, and this guy Wright, 49, come in there and deliver, man. And if it wasn't for a holding penalty on a wide receiver and I believe a holding penalty on an offensive lineman, he probably has 3 touchdowns that night. Speaking of Wright. So pretty nice to see that we can just run the ball no matter what. And it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this shakes out in terms of who they're going to be able to keep, after Sean Tucker, because that's a weird position. You need those guys, but you're probably going to lose one of these dudes to another team, I think.
It all depends on our ability to stay healthy throughout the preseason. I think Todd, like you said, he said Rashaad's groin's day to day. I don't know if Rachaad gave you any update. I'm sure they're pretty tight-lipped about injury type stuff, but I think it doesn't sound like it's anything major. It's going to require any type of major time off or surgery, and hopefully he'll be healthy. But having a guy like Sean Tucker is a luxury. Sean looks like he could take the lead. He looks like a lead back out there. So that position, along with the mentality that our offensive line has right now, we know we can run the football. Our backups know that they can run the football. That's a great sign. And outside of that worrisome situation at left tackle, and hopefully Charlie Heck can do a good job and keep Baker, protect Baker and not be a liability. And from all, I mean, Jason himself said it on his podcast. They're very confident. I haven't heard one negative word said about Charlie. We were focusing on him at practice, You know, he looks like the consummate pro, but you never know when the live bullets are flying. And hopefully, like I said, we're not talking about him or even saying his name as we just run the ball down Atlanta's throat, control the clock. You know, just slap Pennis around. You know, that's what I'm hoping for.
It's not like we're going to show our game plan or what we're going to do, you know, in Tristan's absence in the preseason, but it's no secret that we're probably going to put a tight end out there. I don't know if you noticed, Culp and Payne got better as blockers, which I really liked. O'Keefe had a couple of moments where I wish he was a little bit better, but you know, I still think he's a hard-nosed guy that has a really good shot at making this football team year in and year out because of his attitude. But yeah, they're going to put a guy out there. They're going to lean on that. And you know what? Why not? Why not use three-headed monster? In terms of Sean Tucker, we didn't see him in pass pro very often, if even at all, on Saturday night, which I didn't expect that they would do anything like that. So I think that's really been the one thing that's holding him back. Has he improved on that? Is he able to be better? We don't know yet. We'll see. But that's ultimately why you have a guy like Rachaad White who's so good at what he does and has such value on this team because he's very good at that. So in order to kind of crack into that lineup, you're going to have to either need an injury or you're going to have to really prove to the guys that when you get in there that you can do that, Sean Tucker. But yeah, he's more than capable of running the fucking football with anyone in the league, in my opinion. He reminds me kind of Maurice Jones-Drew, but with a little bit more
bowling ball type style.
Yeah, but with a little bit, he's not as small, he's not as compacted, but he's got some, like, he runs fucking pissed off, dude, which I absolutely love. And I think Susan in the chat mentioned it. How about the rap job that the trainer was trying to put on Rachaad White during that little, like they had the camera on him. It would look like a guy who's first day at the warehouse, never wrapped a pallet in his life. He's over, every time he's spinning, it's coming off. He's over here. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And I could
that should have been the thumbnail. That should have been the thumbnail for the show.
I could feel Rachaad about to like just push him to like, what are you doing down here, boss? It was, and I think after that he ends up going inside, but. Can we get that guy some certified warehouse training, Stank? I mean, you're in that building in terms of this kind of stuff, right? You're out there doing the foot stuff. You're out there with the baby oil. What do we got to do to get that trainer? It looks like an intern, possibly. You know, probably an Izzy type intern out there. Give him some warehouse, some warehouse training, man.
Yeah, that was pretty much the worst moment of the night. Yeah. You know, I don't know how something like that happens. I can tell you one thing. It won't happen again. Okay. No. That guy's key card did not work this morning when he went to the facility. He's done.
First cut of the preseason.
Yeah, dude. You got to send a message. If I'm telling you right now, if Todd didn't send that message this morning, can you tell, like, at the press conferences, he was a little angry. He had a 3-minute press conference today. Little bit of, I think it was exactly that. You know, he's not going to come out and say it because he won't throw guys under the bus, but that was an embarrassment. Not only did you come out with some logo for ants on the helmet, then that.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even connect the two, Stank.
Yeah, dude.
I bet you what happened. He lost the actual decals and he didn't have the helmets prepped in time. That's why they didn't have the fleck. They didn't have the shine to them. And they're scrambling. They're like, I mean, all we got is these little tiny logos we were giving out to the kids for the mini helmets. And like, well, that's all we got. We got to slap them on. And they probably, hey, Gus, you fucked up again. And they probably made him do it on his own. Then he's out there sweating. He's probably nervous. Can't get that saran wrap to wrap properly on Rashaad's groin. Or maybe he was intimidated, saying. I mean, you've had some experience down there, crotch to face before with the other male. Is there maybe intimidation factor in there when he was trying to wrap him?
Never crotch to face. Okay.
Never,
sure? Let's make that perfectly clear.
We can tell the story right now if you want.
It's more like I'm at the base of the mountain and I'm looking up at the peak. That, but
that's even worse. Would you rather be looking up at erect or rather be face to face with a?
No, it was my own business. It was my own business. That's all. But no, people can go back. We have the internet now. I think I've told the story several times on here, and I haven't been drinking, so I don't. Even though somehow me and my wife were talking about that story the other day. Oddly enough,
I feel like you talk about it all the time.
It impacted me in a way that I didn't
speaking of depth stepping up.
Yeah,
and I don't know, to deliver those things. You have to tell us that off air, probably. Let's talk about your boy. All right, I know you've been extremely excited. Okay, you haven't really got to speak about it since the game ended. I know I've seen your journal entries in your diary. Okay, Kyle Trask. I mean, what a night for this guy. Okay, Had a couple of plays I thought he held the ball too long, but you know what? Other than that, he has solidified that he is QB2. How about him answering the questions after the game? Like, well, they didn't really tell me. They didn't tell me anything about why this Teddy Bridgewater guy's here. But they said, you know, I really don't care. I'm out here just trying to move the ball with my team, with my boys, trying to score points in the preseason. And what was he? 12 of 16, 129 yards. Made some fucking throws, man. I'll give him credit. He doesn't throw with a lot of mustard or zip on the ball, but he does make some ballsy throws, and he gets them into tight spots sometimes, right? And he looked good. So I'm going to give you the floor to tell us all about the glorious night that one Kyle Trask had on Saturday.
I'm proud, honestly. I'm proud of Kyle. You can just see he's grown up a little bit. He's still not great on camera. Very, very awkward, very, very timid. I think people take that timidness and they think that's how he is on the field. But no, he's running, read option on fourth down. That's what that guy's doing. Okay. Yeah. You know what? He's the prototypical quiet football guy you think is weak, but will absolutely destroy you and your family. And that's what he did out there on Saturday night. Okay. Those Titans people, they have families, I think. I don't know. They might have families, Kyle. And what you did out there was a thing of beauty. All right. You just look like you belonged. Two Gloves was in the building. Everybody was talking about this guy was brought in to take your job, and you didn't blink, man. You're like, Two Gloves. I was in here with the GOAT. Okay.
He probably didn't know who Teddy Bridgewater was.
I was showering with Tom Brady. You think I care about Teddy Bridgewater? Yeah. Right? You think I'm intimidated by Teddy Bridgewater? When I was over there in the shower with Tom Brady, naked. Do you think that Kyle's somehow intimidated by anybody, dude? No. All right. So everybody needs to calm the fuck down.
They asked him about Teddy, and I think he didn't know who they were talking about, and he ended up saying something along the lines of like, well, "That's just water under the bridge. I don't even really know what that's about. I don't even know who that guy is." But yeah, you know what? I mean, if you think about it, Stank, he did learn from Tom Brady, and you know what? I'm watching that game.
He definitely did.
He kind of looks like Tom Brady. He's got a little bit of Tom Brady mannerisms out there. He's kind of holding him, he's standing there. He's a little shy. He still feels like he's shy in the huddle, but he's not shy to throw that ball, up for grabs. He threw that 50-50 ball to J-Mac. That was another 50-50 ball kind of to Emeka. Then there was that one pass that I don't even know how the fuck he even got through there. I believe that was to Naughty Miller. Possibly. I could be wrong. It was on the run. I mean, this is the first time Kyle Trask is the thumbnail for our show. Okay, think about that. And it's not a throwing pose. He's running the ball in the thumbnail, okay? So we have a Lamar Jackson-esque talent just sitting on the bench. Chilling, kind of just minding his own business. Probably afraid of his shadow sometimes. When he's like, sorry. That just, whew. He probably not, but he looks pretty damn comfortable under those lights when it matters, Stink.
And we can't understate what being in a locker room with Baker will do to a person. Like, Baker is a dog. Kyle's just getting some of that too, and he had that in his game at Florida, should have beat Joe Burrow out for the Heisman. Everybody knows that. Better quarterback than Joe. Everybody knows that too. So, you know what? Like I said, I'll go back to what I said originally. I'm just proud, man. It was just a really good moment for him. And I expect that we'll see more of that as the preseason goes on. Protection for the kid. He wasn't out there running around like you didn't have, receivers that didn't know what they were doing. He had some quality around him, which I think helped.
Yeah, be curious to see what he does with some other guys he can throw the ball to. But I mean, he was throwing the ball to starters if you think about it. Yeah. J-Mac and Emeka are starter caliber wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, J-Mac has a ridiculous amount of experience from last year. He's also more polished coming in this year. And Emeka, everyone said this guy's a pro's pro, and he's a rookie. So he was out there with two very good wide receivers. So that, it did elevate him a little bit, but it also gave him confidence to throw the ball and kind of expect these guys to be where they're supposed to be. So it did look like a different Kyle Trask out there. I'll give him credit for that. We didn't really talk about too many of the guys in detail yet, Stank, because I think they kind of fit more into this last topic, which is the winners and the losers of the night. So obviously Kyle Trask on the list of winners for the night. So aside from the very obvious Kyle Trask answer, curious to see what your two winners of the night were aside from him, obviously.
two winners in the night, aside from Kyle, who was the obvious biggest winner of the night.
Massive winner.
I'm gonna say JJ Roberts.
Okay.
He was dynamite out there. JJ was absolutely dynamite. We heard his name all throughout camp at a position that we need somebody to step up.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. He stepped up. He looked good. Shedeur also. Shiloh. Also, oops. Shiloh also. Played decent as well, and made an impact at times. But that's good because again, we need guys at that position. Who'd I give my second award of the night to? It's tough. That's a tough one.
So while you think about that, I'm going to kind of add on to the JJ Roberts stuff because I was going to say JJ Roberts I think he was targeted 7 times. He only gave up 1 catch. I believe he tipped the one that ends up being an interception at some point. So listen, the kid he just makes plays. He's at the right spot at the right time, it seems, every single time. Obviously, he's a rookie, undrafted rookie, but he was a guy we talked about on that show a good number of times in that last day, of a guy we maybe thought could be a draft pick at the very end, or maybe a guy that was an undrafted guy. I was super, super excited when they did bring him in. But yeah, he has an opportunity to make this team and actually get to play, right? I mean, Christian Izien is kind of a utility type guy. He does almost everything. But JJ Roberts has a chance to grow into a real role. And that's no knock on Shiloh, but I think he's better than Shiloh. He's like right off the bat, he's very instinctive. He's quicker. He's smoother out there. It seems he diagnoses things really well. To be targeted 7 times and only give up 1 catch, you're doing something fucking right, even as a rookie in a preseason game. But I was going to add another winner for me. Let's talk about Jacob Parrish, man. I mean, yeah. I think that one was the one that really just screamed off the screen almost the entire time he was playing. That kid looked every bit the part. Very Rondé-esque at times, just making plays, gets his hands in there. He's not afraid to get his nose dirty. Yes, he got beat a couple of times by Calvin Ridley, but you know what? He needs that. You need to go against a guy that caliber to make yourself better, and also understand that, this shit ain't fucking camp. I'm not going against, second and third string. This is Calvin fucking Ridley, who can still play in the NFL. How am I going to cover him? How am I going to learn to navigate through traffic on these crossing routes? These, one-on-ones, or I'm out there on an island. And I think it spoke a lot how Todd Bowles was just letting him be out there all by himself and seeing what he can and can't handle. And I think he answered, and he definitely stood up and made some plays, man. He had a chance to have an interception at one point too. I mean, he was right there. So that's really fucking exciting to see from a kid drafted where he was as a rookie.
Really, that whole secondary room, Hayes, Funderburg, Hall, they all seem to be playing more aggressive, and we've heard a lot about Todd's or eureka moment and change in philosophy, and we saw a difference out there. So I'm assuming it has to do with how they're being coached right now, because I felt like we were in positions. You saw a lot more PBUs, but I'm going to give my second award to Nasty Nick Jackson. It's good. We need a guy like Nick, and we need an undrafted kid who's also been talked about a lot in camp to come out and just shine. And he did at the position where we desperately need some fucking depth desperately. So I'm rooting for him now that I know who he is. Now he's on the radar, and so we'll see if he can continue to shine. In these next 2 games.
I mean, you got a guy like Servassier Dennis, who's the starter right now, but he's got a history of injuries. You've seen Todd Bowles in the past kind of platoon. Even when Devin White was here, he would platoon him in a way. The only guy that really doesn't come off the field is Levante. And even when he's injured, sometimes he's still on the field. So I think he does have an actual chance to come out there and make plays. He will see the field in some way or another. And you know what? To have a guy like that, a chip on the shoulder, stanked out attitude, and kind of goes back to what you're saying about the secondary seem to have a different attitude. I think Jacob Parrish is just that kind of guy. He's wired to talk shit. He's wired to be, he's just out there like a scrappy ass dog, right? He's like a defensive lineman playing corner out there. And JJ Roberts has a little bit of that. His flexibility, I think, is what makes JJ Roberts special. He could play slot. He could play corner. He could be in the nickel position. He could be any one of the 2 safety spots. That's going to come in handy against a guy like Shiloh, who's also vying for the same spot, but can't do all those things. But yeah, man, to see him come out there, make that, dude, that play, to catch that interception, which wasn't a high tip. It was one of those dart type tips that had some speed on it. To grab it with one hand and secure it. And I think he had a sack a couple of plays before that. But how about the guy who put the pressure to make that tip happen? And that's Elijah Roberts, right? You've got a lot of Roberts going on tonight, Stink. Elijah Roberts, I think, had a pretty damn good night. Showcase what he can do, his push up front. Is he a guy that can maybe slip out to the edge on some obvious pass rushing situations? Maybe not yet, but he's got some cool little pass rush moves in there that I think he was able to show off a little bit, and that was fun to see, man. A lot of stuff on defense. A lot of stuff.
Because that's the position I have the biggest beef with. All right. I mean,
Edge.
Great gains. You're going up against backups too, dude. Okay.
What, dude? Bad backups too, like third, fourth stringers.
Against, UPS drivers and FedEx workers and Amazon warehouse guys. What are you doing out there, bro? Not just him. Green, like that whole rotation, the backup squad of interior defensive linemen, just not good. They're not good. No push from the inside. It's hard. That's another reason why I have a hard time blaming Braswell, and Nelson as well. We're just not getting any real push up front. The drop off from Cansey and Vita is an abyss. It's like to the Marianas Trench, dude. That is the absolute weakest part of this football team. And I'm hoping Desmond Watson comes back. I just want somebody to step up and be that third guy, because we do have those that rotation, which we're not a big fan of because it's such a drastic drop off. Once the starting defensive linemen are off the field, and we need a second group that can do something.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to use that. I don't know if they're going to use that as often as we saw it last year. I think that was more so we can't get off the field. My guys are going to get gassed really, really quickly. So I'm thinking that won't be the case this year. I think a guy like Hassan Reddick, a Yaya Diaby with some added lessons under his belt, maybe a little bit more chip on the shoulder, might change some things. Izzy, I believe we have a super chat.
We do have a super chat. Joe Bucs fan for $3.77, which is oddly specific. At least Greg Gaines came to camp in great shape.
I think that's Greg Gaines' weight, 377 pounds. He looked like a 377-pound human being out there, just kind of leaning. I mean, I was like, can you move your legs, Greg? Are they not? He couldn't lift his legs. It seemed like he was just kind of leaning there. He was pass rushing.
He was sliding.
Yeah,
he was sliding more than anything else.
I'll give him credit; they weren't pushing him backwards, but I mean, on a pass rushing down or rep, that's not really doing much. But yeah, I need somebody to do something, Stank. Let's get Greg Gaines the fuck out of here. And I think Elijah Roberts might be the dude that's going to do that. We'll see. He's got to climb ahead of him. I think David Walker not being there makes it a little bit easier for him. Not that they play the same position, but he does have pass rush skills. How he plays against the run as an NFL player right off the bat, we'll see. Now let's talk about some losers for the night, man. And before I mention this, actually, I don't think Shiloh was a loser of the night, but I don't think he was a winner either. I think he was kind of just right in the middle. He had some plays where he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, it looked like. He didn't know how to navigate through traffic. His size kind of got in the way. And the two plays that he did make were unblocked plays. Plays that you're supposed to make, one-on-one type plays that you're expected to make. And although he did make them, I still think you got to do a little bit more, man. I saw a couple of times on specials he wasn't too, didn't want to get his nose dirty, but then I did see him get a couple of tackles and get his nose dirty. So it's a little bit weird. I didn't know where he was going, but I think he was getting his feet wet. I think he said that after the game too. It's like, I'm just getting my feet wet. And so I think a lot of this, first preseason game does need to be taken with that grain of salt, Stank, as it relates to the rookies. But as it relates to guys like Chris Braswell, second-year guy, he's had some reps in the NFL. He's played the preseason games. He's been in camp. They are expecting more of him. I thought he was a loser of the night, man. I expect a little bit more from that guy against backups.
I don't think there really was any real losers of the night. Klein had the one missed snap. Doesn't make him a loser. He's
that's one snap, but yeah.
His one snap, and overall that unit played phenomenal. You can't really put anything on them. That one snap was it happens. It happens to the best of them. So I don't know. You got young guys out there. What was number 30? Jacob Harris, I think, with the
fumble,
but it's going to happen. It's preseason games. These guys are all fighting, trying to make this team, trying to impress. It's difficult to be critical. What I do want to bring up,
it's not being critical, Stank. I'll let you get to your point, but like, I just expect a little bit more from a guy drafted where he was in his second year, going against second, third string guys, and they put him out there for a while, right? So I'm expecting a little bit more, a little bit, sparks. I mean, make a play, beat your guy. It just doesn't seem like he can get off a block. Once an offensive lineman gets his hand on him, it's almost he's stuck there. He's not going anywhere. Yeah. I like to see some development of a move, some sort of counter to getting their hands on you. Something, man. He's not a powerful guy. He wasn't really a overachiever at Alabama. He played his role. He was a backup kind of. I don't know, man.
He looks slow. Maybe
slow.
He's got maybe he just
he's not powerful and he's not fast. So what is it?
Maybe just because he's looked better than he looked last night or on Saturday night. So I don't know. Maybe he's just chalk it up to camp legs. He just didn't have a good night. I don't know. I want to see more though. I'm not ready to fucking kick the guy. I
don't think that's anytime soon either. I don't think that's happening. I'm just saying, if I were to pick a guy, I think he disappointed. I thought because he really has a good opportunity. Stank, think about it. I mean, I like Anthony Nelson. I think he does his job very, very well coming in off the bench, and when he has a chance to make a play, most often than not, he does. But you got a chance, Chris Braswell, to take that third edge rusher role from anyone on the team, and they've invested a pick in you, so you almost have a leg up on anyone else. David Walker is not on the team for the season, with the injury, so it's kind of all eyes on you, dude. Let's fucking go, and this is a great opportunity because if you don't do it now, and you maybe don't do it next year, you're probably out of the league. You don't get many chances as a failed second round pick, so you got to capitalize. And I think maybe, I think Todd didn't want to throw him under the bus. Maybe he's one of those guys that doesn't respond well to, shots at his confidence.
Yeah.
I think Todd's maybe trying to keep him confident, and we'll see. Maybe there's a shot of energy, a little fire on his ass, this weekend.
Yeah, but Sam, playing him the entire first half, he got a lot of snaps. Tells you everything you need to know about how Todd feels about him. Because if Todd thought this kid he'd
be protecting him.
Was a made guy and was ready and prepared, like he wouldn't have played all those snaps. So look what we did with our guys that we know what we got out of them. They don't know what they have on them. So there is some cause for concern there. He doesn't need to come out and say it. And he probably is going to get a shit ton of snaps again in Pittsburgh and in Buffalo.
I think he's one of those guys that needs the reps. And that might look bad. I might be telling him, hey man, and we need you to, we don't love you, but some guys just need reps, man, to get it going. And it's hard to develop without those reps, but I think he's going to get chances in the actual games this year because of the absence of David Walker, who from everything we've been told, Stang, was going to be a fucking dog, dude, right off the bat. So
yeah, it sucks.
That sucks. It really sucks.
It sucks that we may have to pull some old names back into the locker room. Hit the waiver wires for potential, pass rush depth because they tried to add it. And in David Walker, and unfortunately injuries happen. And then you got a guy like Braswell who's looking like he looks, and you moved on from JTS. We're even thinner there now than we were last year. If you really think about it,
I wonder if there's an opportunity to use 53. I can't remember his name all of a sudden. If there's an opportunity to use him,
Watts?
No, 53, the linebacker we just talked about. The guy who made the interception, he had a sack.
Nick Jackson?
Nick Jackson. Yeah, I wonder if there's a way to use Nick Action Jackson, as an outside linebacker of sorts in a way, because he did look pretty fluid out there, and he's a dog, and he's hungry.
I think he is labeled as a linebacker.
He's a linebacker, not an outside linebacker. That's what I'm saying, as a pass rushing type of guy. So come on, keep up, Izzy. So I wonder if there's an opportunity there. But you know what? If guys like Yaya and Hassan do their job, and Cansey, who I think is going to have a really fucking good year, and Vita does his job, I think that makes it easier for a guy like Chris Braswell to come in there and maybe just get some cleanup sacks, just get some leftovers almost, because those guys are going to be pushing dudes around. And I think that's ultimately the best route for him to maybe develop into something that's, viable to the team, but not necessarily a long-term, edge rusher one type scenario. But
no, it sucks. I see people say Shaq Barrett in the chat.
Shaq is getting done up.
I saw Shaq at Lululemon a couple weeks ago. I saw JPP at Publix. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe it was like a premonition that seeing our older guys out there in the wild. But
I never understood why a guy like Chris Braswell is not just dialing up and constantly blowing up Simeon Rice's phone. Like, dude, come show me everything you know. Like,
I in the building with Yaya.
I know, I get that. So, but Yaya seemed like he was really, really absorbing. But like, where's Chris Braswell? I'm not saying he hasn't spoken to him, but I feel like that's all I would do if I was Chris Braswell. I'd be like, Simeon, I'll pay you. Just obviously, he doesn't need the fucking money, but hey, whatever you want, show me what you got. Like, teach me what you have. Let me absorb even 5% of what you have, because that'll just make you better. And I think some of that, Chris Braswell just needs to put on some muscle or something, man. I mean,
we got 4 guys, that have been on this roster in Braswell, Jose Ramirez, Marquise Watts, and Anthony Nelson. And Anthony's probably the most, unquestionably, been the guy who's played the most and produced the most. But those other guys are collecting paychecks. Like we desperately need some guys to show up, and for whatever reason, Jose and Watts haven't gotten an opportunity in the regular season, or if they have, it's been very limited. And so I don't know, man.
You got to lean on them seeing them in the building and knowing that they're not NFL caliber guys. It's not like they're on
this roster and they have been.
Yeah,
they're both been here for 3 years now.
Yeah, and I think when Ramirez played last year in an actual game, he didn't do much. He didn't do anything at all, actually.
Situational pass rusher.
Yeah. So, like, I know everyone gets all hyped up about the preseason guys like that. But I mean, these guys see them day in and day out. If they had any inkling that they could possibly be the next Shaq Barrett, they would give them a chance. They would do anything to make themselves look like they found that gem. So then not playing speaks, you got to just trust some guys in the building that know better than us, obviously. We're just watching fucking preseason.
You know what, Sammer? We just probably won't need it, okay? Because our starting 4
are ridiculous.
They're great. And so hopefully they stay healthy the entire season. They get the majority of the snaps. We play big boy ball, run the football, clock control, and we just don't need to rely on that rotation depth as much as we have in the past. Maybe that's part of Todd's eureka moment. I don't want to see Greg Gaines on the field. That was his eureka moment. Nope. Yeah, I don't want to see it unless I absolutely fucking have to. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
I agree with King Cook. How much time does our second round pick need? Braswell just ain't it. I don't see it, man. I really want to. But again, like I said, he's not fast and he's not strong and he's not adding muscle or girth, and he's not trying to work on his bend. So what is he? And it feels like he's in the middle and he's muddling around in the middle, which is not where you want your pass rusher. You want him to be one or the other.
Does girth really help with that position though? I don't think it does.
I mean, if you're not going to be the fast guy, at least go in there and fucking thump him with some girth, man. Get in there and make some fucking impact, right? At least that does something. You blow up that side, Simeon Rice could do everything. He wasn't just fast. He also had power to him, and that speed and power.
We're talking about a Hall of Famer, though.
I get it. I'm giving the example that every really good edge rusher does have power. You got to be able to understand how to, use both. But if you're not going to have speed, at least give me some fucking power out there. Like, hold the edge. And not saying he didn't make any plays last year when he did have some chances, but we'll see how he does with guys that are good around him. That's all. He's next to fucking Greg Gaines. He's probably like, God damn, I got this fucking guy next to me. There's no way I'm making this fucking team.
That's true.
I mean,
that is true.
You think anybody in that locker room likes him?
No.
I feel
Vita. Him and Vita, they're boys.
I feel like when he's interviewed or when you see him, it just feels like guys don't like him. Greg Gaines' family probably watches his podcast, fucking curses us out every fucking
we're on the field at practice a lot. I probably should be watching my back because I feel like I could absolutely
he's just gonna fucking blindside you.
None of these guys are human.
So he's gonna blindside you.
They're like, what the fuck?
He's gonna see you. He's gonna fucking take you out on the sidelines. He'll be like, yeah.
Greg he's gonna do like 80s movie shit where he picks me up by my head. Like one of those type of things.
No. I think he should just blindside you, just fucking hit you with some power, and then stand over you and be like, couldn't block me.
Bring it on, Greg. That'd be the most you've done since you've been here, buddy. Remember last year we were actively in the process of talking shit about Greg Gaines, and he had like one of the plays of the year.
Dude, we constantly I remember when they bring him in, we would fucking lose our minds in the stadium. That weird ass rotation. I did an entire fucking solo video in the middle of the fucking Monday morning. I just couldn't wait to get my fucking thoughts off on the fucking rotation that included Greg Gaines coming in on second and third down in the middle of the fucking first quarter of a game on Sunday Night Football. How are your boys tired? Why is Greg Gaines ever in the game in the first half? Ever. Unless it's a goal line situation. Keep him off.
I got a bone to pick with Bucs Nation, the Buccaneers video staff, just Buccaneers fans in general. why are we out there giving punters camera time? Why are we interviewing them? Why are we talking about them? Why are we talking about their averages? Like, who cares? Okay. We don't like kickers in this town.
No.
That's what somebody needs to tell this Riley Dixon character. The fact that I even know that we have a guy named Riley Dixon, that he's on this football team, supposedly great at punting.
How you know his name? That's the other thing. Like I didn't know.
Keep on here. Somebody asked me, what should we give? Should we give him a nickname? And
I saw
said,
that too. I didn't know who he was talking about.
Or Dick's on, Dick's off.
I said we should call him Dick's on balls. But how about our punter wearing number 92 though? Like, is he getting another number or is that his number? I really do want him to rock 92. That's a college thing, a high school thing. The kicker with the number 90. That's solid, dude. I give him credit for that. Maybe he's a cool guy.
He said he's number 92. He took Booger's number. Wow. Did he get Booger's
permission?
Authorization for that?
What about Will Golston's permission? Will Golston's kind of a legend.
Yeah, what am I talking about? The legend that is Will Golston. Yeah. And you're just gonna come in there while Will's locker is still warm and take his number?
Yeah, what if Will wants to come in halfway through the season and just trying to skip camp?
Yeah, bro, that kicker's going to change his number so quick.
It should be 93.
Will is one of the biggest humans I've ever seen in person.
Could you imagine if he changes his number to 93?
Then, dude, I'll get his jersey.
We got to get his jersey.
I'll get his jersey.
Robert Dixon.
And I'm going to ask Gerald to sign it. Oops, oh my bad, bro.
So Robert Dixon, what's his name? What's his first name?
Riley Dixon.
Riley.
All right, Joe Dixon. I hope you're watching this. I want you to change your number to number 93. I don't know what we got to do to make it happen. We'll donate money, anything. Just get your jersey to number 93.
Who names their son Riley, by the way?
Riley.
Come on.
That's a white trash name, in my opinion.
Unbelievable.
That's I've never met an actual.
I
Riley.
watched his press conference, the whole thing today. Way too confident, bro.
For a kicker.
You watched his press conference?
I was on the road today, so
hold on. They gave him a whole ass press conference?
He had his own press conference today.
Not an interview?
No.
Press conference.
So week 1 preseason game, Monday morning, they gave the fucking punter a press conference. Mm-hmm. Somebody stood up. Somebody stood up. The actual
have something else as well.
Shot say, he's earned his own press conference.
This guy? Maybe somebody stood up. Maybe somebody stood up their press conference and they went to the next guy who was just there. He was just walking. He was having breakfast or something. Like, hey, Joe, come here, or Riley. Sorry, Riley. Yeah, come here. Just answer. What are you going to ask a punter? What could you possibly ask a punter as a journalist?
Sammer, he was really cocky.
I like that. I think I like that.
Been in the league 10 years. We're talking about how he had a fake punt in Buffalo last year. Like, I don't care.
Our punter has
shut up and kick.
Big Dixon energy.
Maybe.
Listen, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a punter with the word Dix in his last name, right? I think that's kind of a good thing, if we're being honest. And so maybe now, and you're telling me he's overly confident, like he's cocky.
Overly confident.
I like that.
His energy is pretty big, dude.
Sounds like a humble guy. Well, I mean, I might be a fan of a punter for the first time in my entire life. I mean, aside from, Camarda's big ass fucking third leg out, we talk about a lot, but
no, bro, it's Mark Royals for life. Okay.
Tom Tupa. How about Tom Tupa? Former quarterback. One time the play broke down, he was able to throw the ball and get us a first down. So I do like Tom.
Randall Cunningham punted, and the longest punt I've ever seen in my life.
Did he punt it like the same
motion in his end zone
with the same? It was like crazy
those crazy plays where it could be a punt, it could be a throw.
Yeah.
He punted almost the entire length of the field.
So he had that crazy windup with his super crazy long arms. I wonder did he punt like that? Did his legs also have that Gumby rubber band action going on? He must have. You're telling me he kicked it fucking 95 yards.
He did, bro. He kicked it almost out of the stadium, dude. It was impressive.
This was
Are
against
we really
the Bucs?
having a punter segment right now?
This was against the Bucs?
No, we're talking football, which is way better than what we normally talk about on this podcast, Izzy.
Yeah. So MK says, Samurai turned 25 on Sunday. What do you think of that? Happy birthday, I guess, in a few days.
Camera, show our loyal fans more love than that. All right. I want you to look into the camera right now and wish him
Not doing that.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, though. Yeah, sure. All right. I think that's the end of the show tonight. I don't think we have anything else. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And you know what?
Jonas, I don't know when we're going to do our defensive top 50, bro. Maybe we'll do it next year.
Maybe next year.
We'll do it.
We're gonna
stop.
He was asking about that on Twitter. He was like, "When are we gonna do our next 50?"
Every
MK,
week, Jonas
MK.
Like, I don't know what.
MK says, Sammer, if I get a custom 93 Sammer jersey, would you sign? Absolutely. Come find me at the stadium.
He'll put happy birthday on it for you.
I will sign. I'll write happy birthday on your fucking jersey for you. Yeah, absolutely. If anyone deserves to sign a number 93 jersey, it's me. All right. That's my official jersey signing number from here on out, boys. 93. Okay, because I can't recall anyone worthy of that number outside of Ndamukong Suh, who will give me his blessings, by the way. So yeah, I will sign all number 93 jerseys. You know what? I'm gonna give you one more shot, Izzy. Okay, you are the intern.
Set up a table outside the stadium, bro. It's just Sam Riley signing.
And just go order a bunch of 93 custom Sammer 93 jerseys.
Custom 93 Sammer jerseys.
Wait a minute, I have an idea. Aren't you supposed to be getting a white creamsicle jersey for the Seattle game? That should be your number, 93.
They don't let you customize them.
What?
Get one from fucking where everybody else is.
The number of people who work for Fanatics who have who's like contacted me personally, like they somehow got my phone number. These people are fucking texting me now.
Like, shoot.
I riled some feathers over there, Fanatics. Okay, and I don't know if you guys know
some feathers.
I Riley Dixoned up some feathers. Okay, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I believe Fanatics is based, or one of their fucking headquarters is in fucking Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. So I pissed off some people.
Probably a Fanatics plant right now in the chat room.
Yeah, who knows? It's probably Jonas. It's probably Jonas.
Jonas, are you the
if Jonas worked
right
for Fanatics? It would have like the actual player's skin made out of the letters. Okay?
Fully skin stitched jersey.
Real skin
stitched jerseys. Yeah, that'd be nice.
The back of his neck has the Fanatics logo.
Jonas wants me to put the O-line names on a creamsicle colored shirt. Listen, you guys are lucky I even offer creamsicles anything in the Loose Cannons merch site. Okay.
Which, I gotta give you a credit. Can you put it up? Can you put the images on camera right now? Because you need to be selling these to the world. The Cuban sandwich shirt, fucking
dude.
Phenomenal.
The Cuban sandwich, phenomenal. I'm getting that one.
Really? I mean, you guys go. And so Izzy, let people know. Those of them who possibly don't already.
Hey Izzy, it's your turn.
Where can they find more Loose Cannons content, and how can they find it?
All right, we got loosecannonslive.com. That's the website where you can catch all of our episodes past, and even this one right here, if you're watching it or if you're not watching it. We have pretty much every episode available to you guys. We have tabs such as a voicemail tab. If you want to leave a voicemail, leave a message for us that we can play on the show, maybe later on sometime, do that. But not only that, we do have our own public free Discord as well.
This is terrible.
We have
he started off good, dude.
He started off good.
I was like, all right. I thought he had a script.
Hey, hold on. At least I didn't. Oh, whoa! Here it is.
I love how it grew.
Oh my gosh!
You see that? It got girthy. So you know what?
It's a girthy shirt.
All right. So those of you who don't know, okay, you guys can watch and listen to every one of our episodes on loosecannonslive.com. It's also where you would go to join our free Bucs community Discord, completely free. Just hit the membership button on there in the website. And of course, if you want to be a Cannon Cartel member, which means you pay us $3 a month for behind the scenes action, access to fantasy football leagues, and some other shenanigans, then you would do that in the same spot there as well, which is called the Cannon Cartel. And all members of the Cannon Cartel get a free Cannon Cartel t-shirt. And of course, if you want this brand new design, okay, the Tampa Cuban, I call this t-shirt. It's on loosecannonsmerch.com, along with some other new pieces that I designed.
Put it on me real quick
over the last few weeks. Look at that. Looks pretty damn good, right? I feel like
it looks good on him.
Right? Dude, and so
if you also want to look this good,
yeah, I mean,
click the link.
And those of you who don't know, right, there are there are people who are in Miami who claim that their Cuban is the correct Cuban sandwich. Okay. Well, Tampa
What?
does it a certain way, which is why this shirt illustrates how a proper Cuban sandwich should be made. Sank, I'll let you walk people through those toppings from the top down.
2 off beef patties,
No.
special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Okay. That's how it should be.
See, I was in Tampa this past week visiting the Loose Cannons, and I will say the Cuban in Tampa, top tier.
Yeah,
One of
shout
the
out
best
to
I've ever had.
Gaspar's Grotto for showing us love and giving stuff in the big Cuban down Izzy's throat.
I like your face like this, honestly. It just looks better. Right?
Man, Buck with your girl says I haven't had a Cuban since I was 12. What are you doing with your life?
What are you waiting for?
I think she's talking about like
An
She
actual
doesn't date-
Like an actual
Yeah.
Cuban?
Yeah, she hasn't had a Cuban since she was 12. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't have a Cuban since I was 19. So, yeah.
Hey.
Makes sense. Anyway, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you are new and you somehow made it to the end of the show and you love the show. And if you don't, fuck you, and leave us a comment. Leave us a comment for your winners and losers of week 1 in the preseason with the Bucs dominating a win over the Tennessee Titans. I mean, it just felt like a Super Bowl champion out there, Stank. And I'm excited, man. I'm fucking excited. Make sure you guys check us out on loosecannonslive.com. And Izzy, I'm pretty sure you'll be the first intern that we ever fire in the history of the Loose Cannons podcast.
Boo.
Oh, well. Go Bucs.
It's kickoff, set it off. Go to Vegas, bet it all. Put it on the Bucs win, whoever they gon' play gon' fall. Don't say I ain't told y'all. Loose cannons gon' fold y'all. Yeah, the Heat be 9-3, but it gets real cold in the fall. That's